Hello and welcome back to WePC. Now it is a Friday, I'm here, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for This Week in Gaming and Tech. Now, there was meant to be more presenters of this, we're not going to lie to you, but I'm the only one with a camera, and since lockdown happened, it's just all been me. So it's my series now, but let's get right into it. And our first bit of news this week is that Ninja, he's back on Twitch. Now, we all know what happened with the Mixer situation. He was paid a lot of money and then he was paid a lot of money to leave. And he's now back streaming on Twitch. Now, we don't know if this is a one-off. We don't know if this is a continuation. This is where he's going to be now. But his first stream on Twitch in over a year drew in over 100,000 people in the first 15 minutes. Now, that is insane levels for one, and it's good to see him back streaming. It's good to see him back on Twitch, where it's a much more open platform. And come on, we all just didn't think Mixer was going to last anyway, even with him on it. So he's back. It's the return of Richard. It just feels wrong to mention Ninja on Twitch without mentioning some news that came to Fortnite. Obviously, Fortnite has been going through the motions, it's new updates here, there and everywhere, and they've just introduced drivable cars. I don't really see what big of a deal this kind of is. It kind of seems to me like people like that aspect of Warzone, so they've brought that across to Fortnite. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be building in Warzone anytime soon, but Fortnite has always been the premier Battle Royale. I think so. I think there's no way in denying that it's probably the top, or at least the best and most played Battle Royale currently in the market. Sorry, CSGO players. Now, as you can imagine, Fortnite have decided to call this along the theme of the drive. So this new update is called Joyride, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of great stuff being streamed out and a lot of new content coming into Fortnite as they try and keep up with these other major players that are coming into the game. Now, Microsoft seem to be killing it in one department at the minute, and that's not usually words that come out of my mouth. And it's in PC distribution. Now, they had a really successful launch of Sea of Thieves. Halo, the Master Chief Collection, has been doing wonders on the PC through their Game Pass program, which is still currently in beta on the PC, but is also a terrific platform. If you've watched these before, you will know that I love the Game Pass and everything that it can represent. But what we got this week through Obsidian Entertainment was the new Grounded game. Now, if you haven't seen this weekly news catch up before, you probably know what Grounded is, but we have talked about it a lot. It's a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids platform player, and it looks incredible. It really does. It looks like such a fun game. I've managed to play a little bit of the early release that has just come out, and it is truly spectacular. And Microsoft have really pushed the boat and had a really successful early testing sort of phase for this. So it's nice to see them getting back to a stronghold in the market. I think with PlayStation being a premier sort of studio that it is now, especially with its exclusives and its releases, it's nice to see Microsoft pick that back up a little bit, especially in the PC department where they do have quite a good foothold compared to Sony. Now, this early access launch that was put into place on Steam has not seen Grounded leave the top 3 of Steam since it came out, and it's also had over 1 million accesses within the first 48 hours. That's just amazing. Like, for such a almost quirky game, seems like it's onto a winner here. Obsidian seem to have done great things, which is against what they usually do. And we're going to stick with Microsoft for the next piece of news. Is its Project X cloud server thing. I'm really not quite sure what it is, but I've had a delve into it before filming this video, and it looks intriguing. It's a subscription-based service which allows you to access Microsoft games through cloud play. Now, we don't know specifically what games will be coming yet. There's a whole host of them, but we do know it is coming on September the 15th. Now, that's quite close in obviously due date, and we don't know what's happening with Gold. There has been some teasers around Xbox Live Gold that it's actually on its way out and they're moving to a free-to-play model, or it's just going to be bundled with the Game Pass now, so you're going to be paying a little bit extra for it. But in my opinion, $7.99 for gold, or however much you pay a month, compared to £11 a month, and you get an access to a huge library of games and the cloud software and everything. It's kind of a no-brainer, and Microsoft really are killing it with this IP at the minute. And then finally this week, disappointing news for Microsoft PC and Xbox fans who were hoping to play as our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the new Marvel Avengers game. Now, we kind of knew this was coming. We kind of saw it, we heard the rumors, but we didn't want to believe it because at the end of the day, it's Marvel Avengers. You'd think they'd allow that access to Spider-Man on all platforms. But we found out this past week that Spider-Man is going to be a PS4 exclusive. Now, this leaves us with a lot of questions. Is that because of the Spider-Man game? Did Sony not want to let that go? Is there going to be any Xbox exclusives? Now, we know that they've said that Spider-Man is going to be the only character exclusive, but where does that leave us in other aspects of the game? And where does that leave Spider-Man? Because it kind of asks that, is Spider-Man then going to get a more varied role in the Sony version of the Avengers game than what we would have seen in the Marvel one on the Xbox or the PC? And you've just got to kind of strike it down to who's then going to take over Spider-Man's role in the PC and the Xbox version, because surely they have all of this content that's just going to be going to waste if you haven't got a PS4. And to me, that kind of seems a little bit ridiculous. To try and cut through the noise of all of this, Scott Amos, the developer and the person who is going to be apparently designing Spider-Man for it, released a statement, and it was just kind of bumbling and baffling, like Donald Trump did in his, which it didn't really get to the heart of issues. And it kind of makes you think, you need to stop these corporate dealings from hampering games. You know, Spider-Man is a Marvel entity. A lot of people were looking forward to playing as Thor, as Iron Man, as the Hulk, as Black Widow, and as Spider-Man, no matter what console they had. Because yes, okay, there was a Spider-Man exclusive game on the PS4, but this is not an exclusive game to the PS4. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what are other people then missing out on? Because it seems unfair as a whole to the community of gamers that some people get to play as one character and other people don't. I mean, it's kind of not on. But also at the same time, I have a PS4, so I'm going to be playing as Spider-Man no matter what happens. And that's it for this week. We'll be back again this time next week, every Friday. You know when these are now, so come on, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get your weekly roundup, and just know, if you like what you see, and I'm not just talking about me, why not consider subscribing?